Hello, lovely people. Tracy from Tracy's Learning and Coaching here again. So, on the last video, we talked about who you thought you were. We decided that you were probably nicer or better a human being than you give yourself credit for. We are our own worst critics, right? So, how do you feel about that? How do you feel about not being the person that you thought you were? Perhaps you are. You've got an inkling that actually you might be all right, or perhaps you're not sure yet. And that's all right. We have grown up in this bubble where the people around us have taught us who we are and how to behave and how to edit ourselves so we fit in with society. Now, so that way we have learnt to behave, and that belief system that we have always had doesn't necessarily mean it's true. Just because we've learnt that it is true doesn't mean to say it's true. So, I grew up as the youngest of six, quite a disjointed family because there was such a big age range. The support from some weren't there. I felt the odd one out. I've always been the black sheep. My dad once said to me when I was in my 20s, "You're a bit odd, aren't you, Trace?" And I replied, "Yes, Dad," because I was different, but that's okay to be different. But when you're a kid and you feel different, that's different, right? Because different equals bad. The beliefs I had about myself as a child, I'm fat, which I was quite overweight, but that's another story. That's another go. I'm unlikable. People don't like me. Well, but because I behaved unlikable, because I was being defensive, I was behaved unlikable, and therefore people didn't like me. Or I'd ingratiate myself to make people like me, and nobody likes somebody who does that either. So I grew up with that belief. I grew up with the belief that I was stupid. I've come out of school with no qualifications whatsoever, but now I've got a science degree and 4 diplomas. Well, I'm not that stupid. But all the way through, I have believed these sets of things about myself. I worried about what people thought of me. I twisted myself into pretzels to make people think I was all right and I liked me, but I wasn't being authentic to myself. So we discussed this on the last video about not being your authentic self. If you are not being authentic, people know, or things aren't right, or something doesn't add up. But you feel bad. If you're not being your authentic self, if you're not being you, it makes you feel really bad. And we can't continue like that to live a happy life, because we're looking for something else or someone else to make us happy. So we come to the conclusion yesterday that actually we're all right. Hopefully some sort of inkling at least that actually you might not be as bad as you first thought. So how does that sit with you? How do you feel about that? That was the last question. That list of things that you are, how do you feel about being them? Can you see it? So hopefully you can, and you can see from a little dabble in my past, you can see why I didn't always believe it, and I behaved a certain way, and beliefs create thoughts and feelings, and it creates a way of behaving. So, and it makes the belief come true. If I think I'm unlikable, how am I going to behave? If I think I'm not capable of doing something, I'm never going to pass those exams. I'm not clever enough. I don't get it. Guess how I'm going to behave? And that makes that belief a reality. I'm worried people don't like me. Well, I either won't go, in which case they don't get a chance to get to know me, or I will behave in a way that's outlandish, or how I think that they want me to behave. And because I behave that way, it causes a response in other people. I might look down and not look at people. And so if I'm looking like this because I'm really scared of what people think of me, people aren't going to talk to me, thus making my belief come true that I'm not likable. I'm scared of what people might say or how they might treat me. So some people are going to avoid me. People who think they can get something from me, we've all met people like that, right? Those people might come towards me and they might worm their way in, because if they worm their way in, they can get something from me, right? So your beliefs create you to feel a certain way, and they make you behave a certain way, thus proving the belief in the first place. So you discovered yesterday, or whenever it was, you discovered that you have attributes that you didn't notice that were there, maybe. And I asked you how you felt about them. So what stops you from stepping into those shoes? What stops you from actually becoming this person? Beliefs, thoughts, feelings stop you from behaving. So all the way through your life, you have been taught a certain thing. Now, I've got some questions for you, and I want you to stop the recording and have a think about the answers. Where in the past, who did you learn this belief? Okay, I would really love to pass these exams. I would really like to go on holiday by myself. I would really like to get out and meet people. Whatever you would like to do in your life, something is stopping you. And what is it? What belief is it? Okay. So what's your belief? What's stopping you from stepping into the shoes of the person you wish to be? Have a think about it. So when you've thought about it, think about, where did you learn that belief? Who taught you it? Why did they teach you it? So every action has a purpose. Excuse me. Talking too much again. Every action has a purpose. Why did that person or those people teach you what they taught you? Did they teach you for a positive reason? Did they teach you for a negative reason? Did they teach you to get something from you? Or did they teach you in hope that you would strive forward? You know, maybe the fact that my dad used to say, well, you won't do it, I don't know why you're even trying. Maybe bloody minded. I'm going to bloody do it. Sorry if there's children listening. But I am, you know, so don't tell me I can't do it. I'm going to do it. So it kind of succeeded, but gave me very low self-esteem or self-worth. So it could have backfired completely. I don't know why he was like that, to be honest. He died many years ago. And maybe he was just, you know, his own person suffering from PTSD because he was a paratrooper on D-Day. Who knows why he was like that now? It's too late for me to ask him. It's too late to matter. Because of my past, I believe this, okay? And I know why. For, you know, it's not, my past is not your past, my history is not your history. You will have a completely different reason. Why do you believe what you believe? Who taught you? And why did they teach you? Was it to gain something from you? Was it something to get the best out of you? Did they just make a mistake? Was it the sign of the times? Did they get brought up to believe that that was true when it wasn't? You know, are they repeating behaviour patterns down the line? Are they an absolute psycho? Are they a narcissist? Why have they taught you this thing? What did they gain out of it, or what did they hope you would gain out of it? Either way. So that's your second question. You already know who's taught you. Now why? Why have they taught you that? So stop the recording, have a little think about it, and get back to me. So the next question is it true? If you changed a behaviour, could you change everything else? Or if you changed your belief and thought, actually, I could be capable if I did this. I know, small steps, nothing happens overnight, but if I did this, I could do that. And there's a step. Sometimes we think we've got to do everything in one go. I want to go from being an introvert and being really frightened to talk to people, to going out and being the life and the soul of the party. Is that going to happen in one step? No. You've got to learn how to do that, yeah? And that's one direction. So you're going down this path, and if you take one step that way, you change your direction very slowly. But if you take another step, you go a bit further, and then another, until you're on a completely different path than you was before. But it all starts with a small step. It doesn't have to be a jump to that side. It doesn't have to be, I'm going over there. It has to be one little step. So if I did this, maybe go out with a mate, if I realised that the person had taught me that I wasn't very smart, if I realised that they wanted something from me that was negative and they wanted to put me down so I could feel bad about myself, which means they could manipulate me more. Maybe they were just a bit sad themselves. Do you know what I mean? It could be any reason, and the reason these people were behaving this way. Were they right? Probably not. So if you took a step in a different direction, how could you change things? How could you start to change things? Just one step. One step will change your direction from here to here, to here, to here, to here. See, you don't have to do it all in one go. It's too daunting, it's too scary to do it all in one go. Just start. Start with a little step. Where do you want to go? Who do you want to be? How are you going to become that person? What's the belief that stops you from just being that person? Is it true? How do you feel about that? What can you do differently? And they bounce off of each other, because once you start getting, if I'm scared and I don't want to talk to somebody, if I look up to see if people are looking at me, somebody might smile at me. You have to make a small step. Just try it. Whatever you want to do, you can start to change. But you have to know why you're like you are now, and see if it's true. And whoever taught you it is probably made some sort of mistake. If it's not serving you, it's a mistake. Guarantee it. Just got to look. And if you can't see it, please get in touch, because I would like to know. These videos I make are very one-way conversations, but actually I would like it to be two-way. One of the reasons I stopped was because I wasn't getting any interaction. I didn't even know whether people were listening. So if you'd like to interact with me, please interact with me. Let me know what you think of the video. Let me know the beliefs, or let me know the step you're taking in order for your change. One small step, change something, a little thing, and see how it goes. Whatever you're going to do today, have a great day.